Now, hey, there's a lot of golf balls out there. There's got to be dozens and dozens now. So many new direct-to-consumer golf balls, a lot that I haven't even heard of all of them, and I try to keep up with it. There just seems to be a new one on the market almost every week. And of course, your favorite golf ball company keeps coming out with more and more models, and so it ends up that the golf ball information out there and the misinformation out there ends up being pretty difficult to wade through. So right after this, let's talk about my top 5 golf balls that I would recommend to you. I will also explain why you should be using each of these 5 different models that I'm going to recommend. And hopefully together we can cut through some of the bull crap that the golf industry is trying to push on everybody. Of course, they got to sell golf balls, but it's only fair that you should have some truth. So stay tuned. Hey, this is Steve with HitItLonger.com. As you know, I'm on a journey, a mission to hit the ball longer and straighter than ever before. Even though I'm 51 years old, I hope to teach you how to hit longer and straighter too. So by all means, join me, hit the subscribe button down below, and support the channel by also hitting the like button if you got some good information out of this video, leaving a comment below. All right, so let's start with a caveat, a little asterisk in front of my top 5 choice, and that is that out of all the balls that were tested in the recent My Golf Spy robot testing, that was extensive, exhaustive testing, a lot of new models this year in there, probably your favorite model is in there, that overall they did find that almost every ball, now some of them, about a quarter of the golf balls are just absolute hot garbage and nobody should be playing with them, but almost every golf ball you could find a niche group of golfers or a scenario where that golf ball might actually perform the best. So if you don't hear your golf ball picked in my top 5, that doesn't necessarily mean that it won't be in your top 5, because maybe you're in that little niche category of golfers where that ball just fits you great. All right, again, making my list for the second time in a row is the Kirkland Signature. This time, now we have a 2.0 golf ball, and that new ball was tested on the robot. And in some ways, it was consistent with the other one. In other words, what you're getting is a golf ball that spins and spins and spins like crazy. It has the most spin off the pitches and the wedge shots, has the most spin off the driver, and the faster you hit it, the harder you hit it, the more and more and more that it spins. So, why do I recommend this ball in my top 5 list? Well, if you are anywhere over about 90 miles an hour or so, this is not a good golf ball for you, because you're going to end up losing a crap ton of distance from the overspin you're producing off the driver, and that's no fun. But if you're a shorter hitter, if you're 180 yards, 200 yards, maybe even 230 yards off the tee, even at 230 yards, you're only losing about 5 yards off the top ball, maybe 6 in the top distance ball in that category. But what you are gaining is you're gaining control, not only around the green, but coming into the green. So someone who plays a game, this is a lot of golfers out there that are hitting the ball between 180 and 220 off the tee. You're gonna play a game where you're trying to reach par 4s with a long club, a 3-wood, a hybrid, a 5-iron, and you're gonna need that ball to stick for you on the pitch shot for your 3rd shot, the chips, the bunker shots, everything around the green and out to about 75 yards. You are going to have a massive advantage, because with lots of other golf balls that you might pick, this one is going to stick next to the flag so much tighter. You'll have a lot of other golf balls out there. They might be tantalizing to pick because they're low compression, and the golf ball industry would love to see you slower swingers in a low compression ball, but those don't spin very much at all, and that pitch shot that you're trying to get close to save a par is going to bounce right over the green. Not only does it spin a ton for the lower speed drivers, but it's also the best value proposition on the list. At $1 a ball roughly, how can you go wrong? You're getting a urethane golf ball that spins well around the green, and the My Golf Spy guys called it surprisingly consistent in this year's robot testing. Where version 1.0 was a little bit all over the place with dispersion, this one, they've made improvements, and now it has a lot tighter of a dispersion pattern. All right, coming in as my number 4 top golf ball is the Vice Pro Plus. Now, I really like this golf ball in a lot of ways. Number one, of course, it's about half the price of the super high-end golf balls at about 25 bucks a dozen. But it's a good balance ball. It gives you a really good mix of both distance off the tee and spin coming into the green. It's only a few yards behind any of the top distance balls out there, but it makes up for it with having enough grab coming into the green, and of course that budget price is really nice too. So that's my number 4. Now, what would any kind of top golf ball list be without the old standard Titleist Pro V1? And by the way, just because I have these banners behind me, believe me, I'm waiting for my check from Titleist for shilling for them. So if you think I'm a Titleist shill, go back to last year's video and see that I picked the Snell ball as number 1 last year. So this year's Pro V1 is pretty similar to the Vice Pro Plus, except that it's probably a little bit more durable, and it being a Titleist makes it hands down the most consistent golf ball on the market. Their quality controls are just the most rigid. You can expect the same yardage and the same flight, boring, straight, controlled flight out of your golf ball with every single box that you open. The distance is within 3 or 4 yards of the longest golf ball that they tested, and the spin rate is in the middle on all the irons and wedges that they tested, so it's plenty of spin for any level of golfer. And of course, this is why still most golfers on the PGA Tour are playing this ball. And I think you should too, regardless of what your swing speed is. So if it will fit in the budget, I highly recommend using it. All right, so a minute ago I talked about the Snell MTBX, and that was my number 1 golf ball for the average guy last year. This year it's nowhere to be found. It's way off the list, back in the middle of the pack. Disappointing to me, but they must have made some kind of little tweak to the formula, because this year it's about 15 yards shorter than the top golf ball. And despite having a $30 a dozen price tag, it just doesn't get me excited enough to put it in my top 5. Here, because I don't even think it existed a couple years ago. That is the Titleist Pro V1X Left Dash. I've got this one as the number 1 golf ball on my list because, first of all, it is the longest hitting golf ball that there is, almost hands down, at almost any speed. It averaged 329 yards off the tee, almost 330 at 115 miles an hour. But for you golfers who think you need to match compression, oh, the Pro V1X is too hard for me, I need a softer ball to go with my slower swing speed. Well, this myth is busted out the window, because even at their slowest speed, 85 miles an hour, again, the longest ball in the test was the Left Dash. Now, the spin coming into the green and around the green is a little bit less than a Pro V or a Pro V1X, but it is adequate for most golfers. And again, of course, it has the Titleist logo on it, which is like Rolls-Royce of golf balls. It's the highest quality, most consistent, most dependable golf ball that you're going to find. And despite the $49 a dozen price tag, that's what I'm going to be putting into play this season, because it just goes far and it's a Titleist. How can I go wrong? All right, so that's my top 5 list of golf balls that I recommend you play. Now, let the hate flow. Leave your comment down below. Did I leave your favorite golf ball out of the top 5? Go ahead and leave a comment. Tell me why you think your golf ball deserves to be in the top 5. All right, hey, thanks so much for watching. I'm Steve with HitItLonger.com, and hey, I'll either see you in the next video or I'll see you longer and straighter down the fairway. Everybody take good care.